What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. I can't believe that I'm actually doing this right now, but after several seasons of ignoring my Titan completely, I finally took the opportunity to see what all the fuss has been about. I mean, surely, these crayons can't taste that good, right? Well, I'll be damned if they do indeed taste pretty dang good. Because after this past week of playing around on this Titan, I have to be honest with you, I'm in love. And I think I'm a Titan main again, something I haven't said since Destiny 1. And this is in large part thanks to the performance of the point contact cannon brace in combination with the new Arc 3.0 class tree. This makes for a remarkably powerful and incredibly fun build that is perfect for any Titan. I love being able to pop a barricade, then combo that with an overcharged thunderclap that's going to crush anything that's on the other side of that barricade. Whether you're crushing through lost sectors, tackling Grandmaster Nightfalls, or downing raid bosses, you'll be obliterating anything that stands in your way. Now, to be fair, we also have a seasonal artifact that's heavily focused towards improving arc abilities, so this definitely plays a contributing factor to the current performance of this and other arc builds. But even after this season has come and gone, this build is built to last. The point contact cannon brace provides some incredibly top tier benefits for Arc Titans, utilizing the Thunderclap melee. While it's not as meta to use as a shoulder charge is, the Thunderclap can be an extremely lethal melee since it can be charged up to deal bonus damage. When you defeat a target with Thunderclap, you receive melee energy off of each enemy in return. This ranges from 9% energy for each tier 1 target and as much as 40 and 50% energy for defeating mini-bosses and bosses. Any enemy within 4 meters of you when a thunderclap is performed will be stricken with lightning damage and will become jolted. When a thunderclap is performed while amplified, the damage of the initial lightning strike will be doubled. Targets who become jolted will remain as such for as long as 10 seconds, emitting additional lightning damage to other enemies who are within 8 meters of that target. All of the benefits that the cannon brace provide incorporate Arc 3.0 verbiage, which is going to make this synergize extremely well with our choices in Arc class tree. While the point contact cannon brace is the primary exotic that we're using with this build, there are 2 additional exotics that we have on standby to use with select situations. The Syntheseps, which is predominantly used while in PvP, and the Cuirass of the Falling Star, which is really only going to be used when facing off against tankier raid bosses, which call for that extra DPS. Otherwise, it's cannon brace all day, every day. So let's talk about how we're pairing the contact brace up with this Arc class tree. First off, we're using one of the best aspects in the game right now, knockout. Whenever we critically wound a target or break their shield, our next melee attack will be infused with arc energy, which will increase the lunge range and damage of our melee attacks. This can cause uncharged melees to create orbs when using the heavy-handed gloves mod. Defeating enemies while knockout is active will trigger health regeneration, and it will cause us to become amplified. While we're amplified, we'll receive increased mobility and slide distance, along with 40 points of additional weapon handling. We'll also receive a slight bonus to the handling duration of our weapons, which is going to allow us to draw our weapons much faster, and they'll be ready to fire quicker. Whenever our speed boost kicks in, we'll receive 15% damage resistance, which does go away as soon as we are no longer sprinting. The second aspect that we're using is Touch of Thunder, which is going to enhance our grenades. While this doesn't directly improve the benefits of the contact brace, I prefer this aspect over top of the Juggernaut shield. But if you prefer having that bonky shield in front of you, then by all means. With that being said, the enhanced grenades can certainly become beneficial when you're facing up against champions, as flashbang grenades can stun unstoppables, and lightning grenades can stun overloads. But there's also pulse grenades, which will create ionic traces, which can be of immense benefit, since these will provide 12.5% energy to our grenade and melee abilities, and 15% towards our class ability. Moving on, let's talk about fragments. We've got the Spark of Amplitude, which is going to create orbs when rapidly defeating targets while we are amplified. Orbs that we'll be able to use to trigger various armor mods that we have equipped, which we'll discuss further later in the video. We're using Spark of Feedback, which provides 10 points of additional resilience, and it increases outgoing melee damage after we receive incoming melee damage. This provides a 75% increase to that total. This can be triggered once every 5 seconds. We're using Spark of Recharge, which is going to provide bonus grenade and melee energy whenever we become critically wounded. Since the season offers several mods that directly improve the recharge rates of these abilities, this fragment has become rather futile, for this season at least. But when the artifact is no longer pumping out that bonus energy, Spark of Recharge is going to be a great fallback to utilize. We're using Spark of Resistance, which is going to grant 10 extra points of strength and provide 25% damage resistance against enemies that are within 15 meters. Arc resistance is significantly improved during this season as we get electric armor, which gives us an additional 30% resistance while we are amplified. When it comes to armor, our main focus is the regeneration of our barricade and our melee, which means we should be investing heavily towards resilience and strength. This also means that we're using mods that are going to amplify the regeneration of these abilities, like Outreach, which is going to grant melee energy whenever we cast our barricade, or Invigoration, which is going to grant melee energy whenever we pick up an orb. Mods like Focusing Strike or Momentum Transfer are both great arms mods, but currently they're disabled. Hands-On is a great helmet mod to use to regenerate super energy off of each melee kill, which can get recharged pretty quickly when you're able to jolt and obliterate large groups of enemies. Along with Heavy-Handed, we are using Reaper and Helmet Siphon mods so that we can create additional orbs, which will fuel Invigoration, and it will provide us with armor charges. Armor charges will be crucial for us to trigger melee kickstart, which is going to grant instant melee energy after using our melee. This will consume at least 3 armor charges, and since we're using stacks on stacks, we'll get 2 armor charges every time we collect an orb. Charged Up will provide us with additional armor charge slots to use as well. The more armor charges consumed, the greater the melee energy returned. Truth be told, I find that this build, with the use of Focusing Strike, Momentum Transfer, and other mods that are currently disabled, regenerates abilities fast enough to not need Kickstart mods. But with them being disabled right now, the Kickstart mods have become way more beneficial. Ultimately, I would much rather utilize Weapon Surge mods than to utilize the Melee Kickstart. This way we can grant ourselves a continuous bonus in weapon damage. The last mod that I want to talk about is a Finisher mod. I do find that on many of the tankier enemies, like unstoppable champions, finishers are far more likely to occur. So this can give us an opportunity to utilize health finishers so that we can get health back after we perform a finisher, or we can use special finisher to get special ammo back, which can be really beneficial if you're utilizing double special weapons. With double special weapons in mind, if you do go in that direction, I would recommend making room for Scavenger, Finder, and Reserve mods while you're applying the other previously mentioned ones. To those unaware, it can be exponentially beneficial in the current sandbox to run double special weapons. This is most successfully pulled off when using heavy machine guns along with a trace rifle, but the biggest factor is a build that runs primarily off of its abilities, which with the point contact cannon brace, we are most certainly doing that. With that being said, there are definitely a few standout primary weapons that will be beneficial, the Monte Carlo being one of these, as it regenerates melee energy off of sustained damage. The Wishender, Trinity Ghoul, Malfeasance, Quicksilver Storm, and the Osteo are just a few of many great exotic choices that will pair up very nicely based on the activity that you're diving into. When it comes to legendary weapons, I really enjoy the performance of the Forbearance Grenade Launcher, the Path of Least Resistance Resistance Trace Rifle, the Iterative Loop Fusion Rifle, and the Nezaric's Whisper Glaive. Glaives in particular can be a very solid option to use this season, as they stun unstoppable champions, and they're also just great for providing you and teammates with a mobile shield. When it comes down to it, most any weapon combination is going to succeed, as long as you mix in a few arc weapons. Thanks to the Cannon Brace and this Arc 3.0 class tree, you'll be crushing everything, no matter your choice in weapons. And with that, we've come to an end of today's build video on this magnificent thunderclapping Arc Titan. I still cannot believe that I'm investing myself once again into a Titan, but I really have enjoyed this build, and I've found it to be just as powerful, if not more so, than many of the Warlock and Hunter builds that I've been so accustomed to. So regardless of what class you might main, you should most certainly give this Arc Titan a try. And once you do, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you as always for checking out the video. If you enjoyed and found it helpful, then be sure to hit that like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated, and both really do help support the channel. If you're a new Light Guardian just starting your journey, or a battle-hardened veteran just looking for a new home, then be sure to check out the Discord link in the description below, along with the Destiny item manager link that I'm putting down there as well. And until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you all some happy hunting.